Sometimes it's not so easy. Sometimes it's not so close. Sometimes we build our dreams, but then we see them decompose. When you feel down the dumps, feeling sad and blue, give life a chance, my friend. The sun will shine again on you. Believe you can come through. The rainy days are true. Have little faith in you. Maybe tomorrow you can dream all your dreams again. Though some sorrow remains, it doesn't mean the end. Believe you can come through. The rainy days are true. Sometimes okay to feel blue. Have little faith in you. Dream all your dreams again. Though some sorrow remains, your dreams can get you through. Have little faith in you.
When I go in to pray, I look for my good Jesus. And when I close my eyes, I can feel all His light. I open my heart for all He has to say. He shows me the best way I can enjoy my life. Jesus, they never we apart. Please bring all your light to shine inside my heart. Jesus, Jesus, I can be content. I have your endless love and your protecting hand.
j'entendrai sa voix à dire tu sens cette brise, la lune, tu la vois, il faut repartir tout comme elle, puisque telle est la loi, et pendant ta prière en famille, tous les jours on se reverra. Et je m'imagine enfant à cet endroit-là, peut-être Jésus m'inviterait à sortir un soir dans les jardins de chez Pierre, j'entendrai sa voix à dire tu sens cette brise, la lune, tu la vois, il faut repartir tout comme elle, puisque telle est la loi, et pendant ta prière en famille, tous les jours on se reverra. Et pendant ta prière en famille, tous les jours on se reverra.
Hello, brothers and sisters of my heart. My name is Fulvio. I'm going to play and sing a couple of songs to help me, to help you, to help us to harmonize ourselves, to prepare for the Spiritism talk tonight. So the first song called Vibration, and goes like this. Now, song to Mother Zephyrina. Source of love that radiates, all my power My soul never loses hope, because your love always teaches me the solution lies in hard work. The solution lies in hard work. Oh, my mother Zephyrina, harvest of wonderful blessings, make your small son a good Christian. Make your small son a good Christian. Source of love that radiates, warming up our cold nights, support and comfort, support and comfort, cascades flowing down the mountain, calling the children of earth with love in their hearts, with love in their hearts. My soul never loses hope, because your love always teaches me the solution lies in hard work. The solution lies in hard work. Oh, my mother Zephyrina, harvest of wonderful blessings, make your small son a good Christian. Make your small son a good Christian. Hello, brothers and sisters of my heart. It's a pleasure. It's a very good time. I'm so glad to share those moments with you. And before we start, I'd like to share some announcements as usual. And just to make sure that you understand how it goes, the Spiritist talk every Tuesdays. So first of all, if it's possible, turn off your phone notifications, so make it easier for you to pay attention. The very profound thing, very, very important words that we bring in every Tuesday. I'll try to find a quiet place if it's possible, because sometimes we are in the moving, we are going back home, so try to find. Our meeting has a format of 30 minutes presentation plus 10 minutes question and answer. And after that, we have a spiritual care. So I'd like to ask you if you want to, during the spiritual care, we have a magnetized water. So for that, bring a cup of drinkable water or a bottle, and we're going to ask the good spirits to magnetize them for us. And I will explain to you later on. So just to let you know, our meeting is transmitted every Tuesday to our Facebook, Spiritist Canada Facebook, and YouTube, and also Concafas Continental America. And on Saturdays, by Kardec Radio, Facebook, and YouTube. So for you that interested in learning a little bit more about Spiritism, soon in September 12, we're going to start a new classes of Get to Know Spiritism. It's a free course online, and everybody is invited to. You can say, oh, but I already studied something in about the Spiritism. It's a good opportunity. It's a very short period. We have 14 weeks studying many different areas about spiritism, about life. So everybody is welcome, and the link is going to be posted in our chat. We also would like to invite you to participate with us. The Gospel at Home is a moment that we bring Jesus Christ to our home, and we are offering this to everybody. If you want to start by yourself in your home, we can help you to start and maintain it. If you want to participate with us, the Gospel at Home online, we go every Wednesday at 7 o'clock p.m. or 8 o'clock East time, 8 to 8:30. Everybody can participate in a Zoom. It's a free online gospel at home. And the link is posted also in the chat. So everybody is welcome to participate with us. We have a book of vibration. So when you have a very, very we're interested to help someone, to give them good vibrations, we have a special book. It's a private book. If you want, you can put your name there, or name of someone that you really love and is in need to good vibration. So in the end, the good spirit visits them. So only you're going to have access to those informations. Tonight we have a special meeting. It's our friend Veronica from Winnipeg is going to talk about the parable of the wedding feast. Is one of the items of the Gospel According to Spiritism, chapter 18. Many are called, but few are chosen. Items 1 to 2. So everybody is welcome to make comments, make questions that we're going to try to answer in the end of the meeting. So stay tuned. So as usual, every time we start our meeting, we have an opening prayer. So for this, I'm gonna invite our sister Veronica to do the opening prayer. Hello, Veronica.
Hello, hello, Fulvio. Hello, everyone.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for the introduction. And we have a special, and for the special talk today, but which talk every Tuesday is not special, right?
Exactly. I say the same thing every time because every time is a special opportunity to learn a little bit more about the gospel, little bit more about the life, because the point is the application of the gospel in our life. So that's the reason we have the facilitator bringing here new ideas based on the old teachings from Jesus Christ. So as usual, we invite you to do the initial prayer, and I'll be in the backstage. So if you need anything, I'll coming back in the end for our question and answer.
Okay, great. Great, and thank you everyone who are listening live or on demand. So before we jump into our presentation today, let's unite, get together in an opening prayer. So I invite you to join me in this prayer where we try to seek the light of our Master Jesus, of our Father, with infinite love toward us, asking for blessing to bless our study today and to allow us to extract the true meaning of the words, and that the teachings can touch our hearts in a way that each one of us needs as a remedy to our soul, as a light, a beam of light that guide our next steps, and as a warming, welcoming, and comforting energy that allow us to be strong, courageous, to go forward, to change ourselves, to change our thinking in order to be a better version of ourselves every day and every minute. We also ask the good spirits to inspire us through our words, through our listening and our thoughts, so that we can keep the lessons in our hearts and put them in practice. We are so thankful for all the help we receive every day in our lives and in this moment. So be it. Okay, everyone. So, as Publio said, this is a moment for reflection, right? So, before we start, I'm just going to share my screen. I have a few slides just to guide us through our reflection. And today we are studying the chapter 18. We are starting chapter 18 entitled The Parable of the the chapter 18 is entitled Many Are Called, but Few Are Chosen. And today we are studying items 1 and 2 that's going to explain the parable of the wedding feast, which is described in Matthew chapter 22, items 1 to 14. So if you have a Bible, you can follow Matthew book. If you have the Gospel According to Spiritism, we can look at chapter 18. And in this chapter, specifically, Kardec put together a few parables that Jesus told at his time that has a lot of metaphors, right? Representations in which we do need to have special caution to not try to understand the words but literally, but what is the truth behind these stories. Okay, so this today we are especially looking at this parable of the wedding feast. Okay, so Jesus through the when we see Jesus teachings in the gospel, right, of Matthew, Luke, Mark, and John, we see that he uses stories and parables to illustrate what people at that time could not see with their physical eyes, which was the kingdom of God. So at the time of Jesus, the Jews were waiting for the promised land, right? Which they thought to be Jerusalem. And they believed that they were the chosen people for God to receive this kingdom, the heaven. And they were waiting for that. But as well put by Kardec, we cannot see this kingdom of God, a heavenly place, with our physical eyes. We need to see beyond what our eyes are able to see. And that's why Jesus used the parables because the parables were based on a culture, the context that people lived at the time. And the parables as stories can be transmitted from one generation to the next generation. And with that, the true meaning of the teaching. Okay? So, without reading the full parable, the basic idea is that in the parable of the wedding feast, there was a call by the king that prepared a, a big wedding feast for his son and sends his servants to call those who were choosing in the invitation list, right? So his servants went and just called everyone that was in the invitation list. However, as it turns out, everybody who is invited makes excuses. Oh, I cannot go to the wedding. I'm too busy. I need to work in the field. I have my business. So everyone declined the invitation. And so then what is going to happen is that some people even were very violent to the king's servants. So those who send the message, right? And we have that say, "Oh, don't blame the messenger," right? Because it's not they're there to invite for a good thing, which is a party, right? It's not a they're not calling them for a judgment or for anything hard. It's like a, a, this feast. They they the invitees they start to be violent and even kill the servant. So then the king gets very mad, right? And destroys the cities, their city, the city of all those invitees were living, and everything gets vanished. But then the king then decides, because the feast is ready, everything is set, it'll be a waste not to use it. So the king ordered his servants to expand the invitation to anyone they come across. So not only those who were in the invitation list, but now everyone can be called and invited to the feast, uh, both good or bad, so that the hall can be filled. So the servants go again and then invite, and this all the people come in, right? And they sit for the feast. But then the king, among all that crowd, spots a man lacking a wedding garment. So, what is the wedding garment? It was the special clothing that they had. It's almost the dress code at that time, right? So, people should come wearing this garment, this wedding garment, in order to participate in the wedding feast. But the man was lacking this garment. So the man is bound and cast into outer darkness. And then he ends the parable with the saying, many are called, but few are chosen. Because among all the people that were entitled for the wedding feast, only a few came. Even those who were directly invited didn't attend it, right? They declined the invitation. Okay, so that's the story, right? So what Allan Kardec has to say? First, he's going to say we cannot make sense of word by word by literally trying to understand this story, right? Because it would be very shocking or even impossible, right? Implausible to imagine that a king would invite people to the feast and everybody would say no and come up with excuses. And two, that in rage they would destroy a city, or even that the king would extend to everyone on the street that they don't even know to be invited to this feast. So it does make clear that there should be another meaning that we should extract from this story, that the words literally cannot send this message. So Allan Kardec, it then highlights that it's kind of childish, right, and even ingenuous to think that we can understand that as is. Um, and Okay, I'm just gonna go here on the next one. So Jesus then made those allegories, the stories, from the most common of everyday occurrences to and customs, and adapted these to the characteristics of people that he was talking to. So the parables were shared to all people around him. Some were very well educated, like the Pharisees and Sadducees. Others were very simple people. So the story can be captured by anyone, regardless of their intellectual or cultural education, right? Even children were able to retain the stories. So the vast majority of stories had the objective to penetrate into people's minds and to bring the idea of spiritual life. Okay? And many appear to be unintelligible merely because those who listen do not look at them from this point of view. So that's a very important point. We should look at the parables from the point of view of the meaning, right? The hidden meaning. And the remarkable thing about parables is that that parable that was told more than 2,000 years ago is still current, and the teaching, the essence of the teaching, can still apply today. And that's what we are going to reflect. We are going to reflect to what the people around Jesus heard, and what was the true meaning of the words in that story, and what's the truth meaning, the true meaning of that story for us today. So let's go. So the first thing is the symbolism of the king and the feast, right? And the king as the higher individual in the story represents our creator. It represents God. And the feast represents joy, a happy moment, represents the joy of the spiritual life. So God is inviting us to this joy, the kingdom of heaven, this event which is our spiritual life that can be full of joy. And that in spiritism we are going to say this is when we become pure spirits, and the heaven is not a place that we go to, but is a state, is a spiritual state when we find peace, joy, and heaven inside of us, inside out, right? So it's a state of mind. So the first invitees and the prophets are in this story as well. So the first invitees are the Hebrew people who first received the divine law through Moses, right? So they are the first to be invited because they are the first people to have the notion of one God, right? Of monotheism. And they believe that they would receive the heaven, and they were the chosen people of God. So these were the first that were invited to this feast, right? So believe we have a loving God, one, and we have a heaven, and God has reserved the heaven in the future. And the servants who went to call invite people are the king's servants. So the prophet at that time were people who were not only were not the idea was not to predict the future, as sometimes we have the notion of what a prophet do, but it was someone who received a message from God, right? That was a prophet. So they would say things and enlighten people with messages from the divine. So these are the prophets at that time. But then what happens is a rejection for earthly concerns. So when the parable says that many people declined the invitation because they were busy with the field, with their business, is bringing our attention that many times the people at that time and also us would decline the invitation from God, the King, to be part of his feast, God's feast, because we are too attached to earthly concerns, right? In Spiritism, we learn that the material life can bring burden and can be an obstacle in our lives when we are seeking for spiritual growth, right? It doesn't mean to say that any material, we need material things, right? We need to work, we need to pay our bills, and it's not that, but extreme and excessive concern to material things can be a concern. And a simple example, right? The more we want, the more time and investment we need to put on. And that time is something that's limited, right? We cannot make time. We need to make good use of the time we have, right? We cannot make time. But every time I have an extreme concern that is not perhaps crucial, right? It's things that are extra, that's too much concern, that will create obstacles, right? So the tendency is that we'll say no to this invitation. What that means? Does that mean? Many times we have opportunities to do good actions. For example, we have opportunity to spend more time with our family, or having more quality time with our kids, with our parents. But then because we are so worried about having more money, because we want more things, and things that maybe are not even necessary, extremely necessary, we put away quality time you could spend with loved ones in order to seek for these material things. So in the parable is a word of caution so that we pay attention about where we focus our life and if we are putting our attention and our time into the right things. Okay, so we end up rejecting this invitation to the wedding because of concerns with the material things. And then, following the story, once once there were all that trouble with the first few people that were invited, which are those who know divine laws, right? With no people who have a knowledge of, have faith or beliefs, and they kind of reject the invitation to become better, to improve themselves, then king, the king God, end up change in the story. This invitation changes. The invitation is not directed to only selected people, but now when they say go to the streets and invite everyone you see to the feast, now it's meaning that this invitation to find joy and find heaven and have a happy life is now extended. The invitation is extended to all people. So the banquet of universal faith extends, is extended, is shared to all people regardless of previous beliefs, because the first ones that were invited were those who already believe in God but declined the offer, those who were knowledgeable about the scriptures, for example, Pharisees and Sadducees who were at the temple teaching the laws, right? The Mosaic laws. So these represent those that appear to be ready to receive the invitation, but somehow declined, right? They were too busy for the commitment to attend the wedding. So now God says, we are going to spread the word and invite everyone. It doesn't matter their belief, including uh, atheists or polytheists, right? People who didn't even believe in God or believe in many gods, they would be invited. So now the invitation has no ethnic boundaries, right? Even the Gentiles at that time, who were the non believers, right? The ones that didn't follow the Mosaic laws. There were no birth rights, right? It's not because I'm born in a family that has certain privilege, I'm going to be entitled to the feast. And there's no historical privilege, right? So it's everyone will receive, no matter their background. So in that parable, we already see the notion of inclusion, right? In diversity, which is today is one of the things we strive, right, to achieve in at workplace, in our day to day, in most cultures around the world, right? So the notion of inclusion and diversity is there. So then the parable also talks about this wedding garment, right? So is it because like those restaurants you cannot come with no t-shirt, right? When you go to the beach, or you need to have a pair of shoes in your foot, you cannot come bare feet. No, what is this wedding garment? So it is a special condition to participate in the feast. So it's a dressing code. But in the real meaning, what is this dressing code, right? The dressing code is meant that the condition is there is a condition that is essential. So you were invited, you got in, but the king saw you were not ready. You didn't have this garment, wedding garment. So what is that? So in the meanings of divine laws, it means that there is a special condition in order for us to reach this heavenly place, right? That God promises. It is necessary having to have a pure heart and practice the law of charity. That's the sole condition. It doesn't matter your religion, your social status, your intellectual development, a degree. It does not matter. What matters is a heart that is ready to love and share, and once called to do good, we are ready and we do it, right? So this is the wedding garment. So the question is, well, so it does not even matter what I have done before, right? What if I killed? What if I did terrible things? Well, apparently the king invited everyone they saw. It doesn't. They didn't ask you what you did before, what you are going to do next. You just need to be ready, right, to accept. And in Spiritism, we learn that we have many lives, and although we don't know what we have done before, is 100% certain that what we did before was worse and maybe way worse than what we are now, right? Because we are at this moment the best version of ourselves. So we all have a history of wrongdoings. Otherwise, we most likely won't be here and Earth won't be so crowded, right? So we should, it's not a matter of what we did, but our willingness to change and change for good, right? That's our wedding garment that we need to hurry up to actually fit in it, right? Okay, so let me just move here. So moving on. So the key thing here is that it is not enough to be invited to the feast or to be invited or entitled to heaven or a happy life. It is not enough to simply say, I am Christian, right? And further, even to practice or be to attend a place of prayer, a church, a temple, that's not enough, right? Or to sit at the table in order to take part, right? So going to the church, going to the Spiritist Center, only attending or listen to a mass, right, virtually or in person, that's not enough, right? Before all else, it is essential to wear the wedding garment. It is essential to be pure of heart and to practice the law according to this spirit of being pure of heart, right? Which it is the law of love, right? Love in this in its pure essence, which is love without boundaries, right? Love whoever our neighbor and whoever it's in front of us. So the key thing here is that Kardec highlights is without charity there is no salvation, right? Because charity is the path for us to achieve this pure heart. It is when we practice love, unconditional love, without expectations of return, that's when we are strengthening our heart and our spirit in order to fit into that wedding garment, right? In order to have the merit to achieve happiness. So many, the story also shows the parable that many are called. Those who those who study, those who are selected are entitled, right, are from a group of select people. We could say people who know the scriptures, know the gospel and the teachings. Those are who supposedly should be ready, right, to follow through and accept the invitation. And even those who are not are also called. So many people are called, but only a few are chosen because we are not ready, right? As a planet that is transitioning from a planet of expiations and tests to a planet of regeneration, the spirits that populate Earth are still those who are in trouble, are troubling, right? Are still stumbling on their vices, on obstacles in order to progress. So that's why many are called, but only few are chosen. And the invitation to the feast of universal faith is offered to all humanity. So, independent of beliefs or religious thoughts, right, philosophies, the the invitation is universal, universal, right? Because we might differ, religions may differ in their rituals, in their procedures, but the focus of any religion is to connect every human being to God, the divine, right? And to make us better, right? No religion has the goal to make people worse. So I think we can all agree that the law of love and charity can embrace, right? It can include anyone. And however, for the ultimate qualification is not the title, birthplace, or a ritual, right? Or attending a certain ceremony or so on and so forth, but it is a very hard work, right? An internal work of moral purification or self enlightenment, right? Inner transformation so that we can develop this love for our neighbors, right? And see people around us with a different eye, right? Without judgment, with compassion, looking for being ready and willing to help when needed in the way we can, right? God never uh, asks us for impossible things, right? Because it doesn't make sense. If God is this intelligent, infinitely intelligent being, how come can God ask us to do things that God already knows we cannot do it? So everything that comes to our plate, are things, are events we can overcome. And but many times we struggle, we face challenges where it appears it is impossible. And we should then stop and always think that if that comes toward us, it was one, a situation that or a consequence of our own choices, but things that happened that sometimes feel unbearable are given in our path and can be overcome, right? Because God, in infinite love and intelligence, knows better what is best for us than ourselves. Okay, so without charity, there's no salvation. So the parable does teach us, invite us to think about what do we need to do, right? And in order to fit into this garment, so that when the time comes to the invitation, we are ready to enjoy this feast. We are ready to find the happiness we all of us are looking for. Okay, so I think that ends the reflection because the time is up too. So I'll ask you, Publio, to come back.
Yes, I'm
Okay,
coming back.
great.
Thank you, Veronica. It was a very interesting thing. When you were talking, I keep on asking myself, okay, I have to ask a question that is triggering me here. I just one question here, and it's for you to help me and help everybody to understand little details. I'm gonna put here, according to the comforting aspect of spiritism, how the trials and the suffering we experience in our present life best understood. Because when you mention there, we are preparing, we are having a hard time because we are changing from one stage to another one in the humankind. So how how spiritism explain, like, to understand the trials? Because like, I cannot say that I'm suffering if I check another people, another country, another, they are suffering much more. But how to understand this? How the spiritism can help us to understand these trials?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the trials are events in our life that are challenging, right? It can be illness, it can be the losing, the loss of a loved one, it can be even financial struggle, right? Being in a state of vulnerability, living poverty. So all these conditions that happen to us that may have it may be a consequence of our choices in this life, but also some that are not, right? When we see, for example, people who are born in with a medical condition, right? That how can we say that it's a consequence of their choices, right? Well, the trials that are presented in our lives, the best thing we can, I guess, one way of seeing it, another way of seeing it is not try to figure out why they came from, but what I can learn from that, right? If we can, one thing Spiritism teaches is that every challenge, every suffering we go through is a learning experience, right? Why do I have to learn, right? Maybe the people around me is learning, right? Because when we see illness in the family, for example, it's not only the person who is sick that is going through a trial, but also the whole family, everybody who is around, right? So what can I learn from that? Is not learn to find, maybe it's not learning to find a cure of a illness, of a disease, but maybe it's learning to have resilience to go through the suffering uh, in a way that we can build resiliency, right? And find peace even in the middle of um, a hurricane. right, in our lives. So we see so many examples, like you said, Publio. Well, there are so many people that do suffer more than myself, right? But we all have struggles, right? And it's hard to measure and even judge who has more, because some people suffer from hunger, right? Which is a very basic need, right, for humans. Some people are suffering from depression, right? And
Yeah, they have
even
everything, but have depression.
financially, materially, they are okay, but they suffer from depression, right?
Yeah.
And so it's hard to judge what who suffer more, right? And it's not up to us to judge that. But the important thing is looking inside, what can I learn? Why do we suffer so much, right? And
Hmm.
trials tend to repeat. I don't know if it happens to you, Publio, but sometimes we have obstacles that apparently the same category of obstacles repeat over and over again, right? So,
You're
for
right.
example, we have a difficult boss, we change jobs, and suddenly we get another boss with the same um, features, let's say, same traits, right? So, is that the boss or is us, right? The way how we see that. So it is to build resiliency, and I think it's always good to look at examples
Mhm.
where people going having a very difficult life, they still smile, they still have joy in their eyes, right? And you see, you would look at it and say, "Oh, if I was in their shoes, I would not be smiling every time, right? Every day." So yeah, I
The
had
question was based because, like, I'm invited for the wedding. I should be happy, and I don't have the
the
garnet full of
garment.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but still, I have to do my best to fit in these things, right?
Yes.
And when we think this is not a party, but it's the spiritual world that Jesus Christ
Mhm.
was bringing to us. So yes, sometimes the only thing is we have to build this resilience, the kindness. We have to
Mhm.
build this in our soul. Is not a
Yeah.
material thing. So your
And
expense.
and guess what? And guess what, Publio? Thanks to Spiritism, we know that anything we can learn, any experience that can change us for good, for better, can improve ourselves up into the last second of our life, it's we own that, right? And we'll have another opportunity in another life when we reincarnate to put that things that we already own that nobody can steal from us, right? To progress and continue, right? So it's just like, oh, I have this notebook, right? I'm doing my notes and I'm in the last page, but you can always get a new, brand new notebook and continue the story of our lives, right? So what trials mean is that that trial, once we overcome that and we learn the lesson, we are ready to the next level, right?
Yeah, was amazing your
Yeah.
explanation, your your point of view, and this chapter, especially that's the reason it's the special invitation, because this chapter bring us these thoughts. What I'm doing, right? The first one is you talk about, but the whole chapter brings a lot of information that before spiritism would be very hard to understand those parables, those
Mhm.
teachings from Jesus Christ. Thank you
Definitely.
very, very much.
Thank
It was
you.
wonderful bringing those
Thank,
reflections.
thank you, Publio. Thank you, everyone. See you next time.
See you. Thank you. So, like to say thank you in name of all the workers here. And our meeting continue. So we have the opening prayer. So now we're gonna have the spiritual care. You can ask, what is spiritual care? So spiritual care is a kind of a treatment, a spiritual treatment that we have the pass. What is pass? Pass is a transfusion of spiritual energy, assisting our physical, emotional, and mental balance. So is the vibration coming from the spiritual world. To the best benefit from the spiritual care, please follow the guided audio instructions or remain in prayer. You may close your eyes to help with the mentalization. Remember, I talked about the water, magnetized water. Water, as you know, is the chemical element more easy to get influenced by vibration, by magnetized. So waters receive healing energies from for our body and soul, which you or your family or someone that you love can be benefit from. So remember, the good spirits comes always, they are around us, and especially in this moment that we pray and ask for help, they come and magnetize the water. So we're going to do a prayer to start this moment, and will be also the final prayer. And in the end of everything, I have some announcements that I want to share with you. So for this moment, I'd like to invite you again to close your eyes and in gratitude to God, say, thank you, Lord, for this beautiful opportunity that we had to learn a little bit more about your gospel, about your teachings to humankind. Allow the good spirits to be with us, inspiring us, helping us the healing process of our soul. The good vibration that comes from your heart and from your messengers be with us, involving us today and always. So be it.
Let's get ready for the pass and water fluidification. Please get a container with clean water to be fluidified. Brothers and sisters, it does not matter where you are, what type of hardships you are going through. Jesus is always ready to come and help us. Place yourself in a comfortable position which can make it easy for you to reach concentration and receptiveness. Breathe slowly and easily. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Fill up your lungs with air and let it out very slowly. Let tranquility and peace energies penetrate your lungs and move throughout your body. Your soul in harmony with your body feels easy and in peace. Let's imagine Jesus' passage. A clear day, the sun's golden rays illuminate the happy passage in Capernaum. A lot of white houses, multicolored vines, and hopping birds fill the landscape with optimism. The news about cures attracted the crowd in need. Suddenly, Jesus appears slim and handsome. His tunic was hanging down to his feet. At sunset, all those with sick people hit by several illnesses would bring them, and as he placed his hands over each one, he would heal them. This is what Luke the evangelist says. Let's imagine Jesus approaching you. He holds his friendly hands over our head. Notice that from his generous hands, a waterfall with clear and pure water originated from his love come to bathe you. It flows on your head, goes down your shoulders, bathe all your being, and brings you peace, serenity, and balance. They remove all impurities and pacify you. Feel the water bathing you, cleaning. Breathe. Now, imagine Jesus as a sun before you. His light, His warmth surrounds you. Feel the healing energy that comes from Jesus towards you. He hears your prayers. Trust Him. His love is endless and it follows you and protects you. It provides you with everything you need. Have faith. Absorb the healing energy from Jesus. His light surrounds you. Feel the energy going through all your body. Feel stronger and in peace. Lord Jesus, our divine friend, reach out your generous hands, Lord, and change this water into medicine for our physical and spiritual illnesses. Protect us, Jesus, with your peace. Spread those vibrations of love throughout my home, Lord. May peace, health, and tranquility reign here. We are very grateful to you, Jesus. Stay with us today and forever. Thank God. Please remember to use the fluidified water.
So we are going to the end of our meeting, Spiritist Talk. I remember to invite you. It's still time to do your registration. We're gonna have on September 5th to 7th the second conference, USA and Canada. We're gonna have a meeting there, coming people from around the world. We're gonna meet there, and the theme of this meeting, this we call conference, is kindness is the only way. You're gonna have people, speeches from many different places, and everybody is invited. Like Vanessa Celoni from USA, Sabino Antonio from Argentina, Angela Stewart from USA too. So they're gonna have a time to explain and share the work, the social work that they do. So everybody's welcome. And another reminder to follow us in Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. Facebook, Spiritist Canada, and YouTube, Canada, and Instagram, the Path of Light. So thank you, everyone, to come here tonight to share those moments, and we'll be happy to have you again next Wednesday. Have a wonderful night, a wonderful week, and see you next time.
A world where we will be as free as any bird flying in the sky, where peace prevails. That's what I dream for you and me. Moved by the light of love, no longer dimmed by who we were. We'll rise into what we are meant to be, among flowers shining with the glow of supernovas. Tokens of that endless love God feels for us. That's what I dream. I dream a new day is going to dawn, the rising of a different world, where eyes will seek out chances to do good. A world of peace and brotherhood awaits the change that we can make. And change changing our hearts is the first step we must take. A world where we will be as free as any bird flying in the sky, where peace prevails. That's what I dream for you and me. Moved by the light of love, no longer dimmed by who we were. We'll rise into what we are meant to be, among flowers shining with the glow of supernovas, tokens of that endless love God feels for us. That's what I dream. I dream a new day is going to dawn, the rising of a different world, where eyes will seek out chances to do good. A world of peace and brotherhood awaits the change that we can make. And changing our hearts is the first step